Welcome to the Joycast, designed to help you tune in to your inner wisdom, connect with the wisdom of nature, because we are all part of the living body that is the earth. Sorry, I can't stop laughing. Welcome to the Joycast. My name is Tamika. Today we're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to explore our intuition by listening to 3 different animal energies and choosing one. So you can choose between pelican, iguana, or snake. So for those of you that chose pelican, the energy of Costa Rica this week with pelican has been that we've been noticing how smooth they fly. And then the one particular day that we were watching the pelicans, they were all out of formation. And quite often they are in formation, but they were preparing to do something and began to be like all random pattern, no pattern at all. So I feel like if you've chosen this energy, if you've chosen pelican, it's because things in your life are all shaken up. It seems like there's no pattern, and maybe you're a person that's very used to having a pattern in your life and things have been more stable, and so now it's all shaken up. And the good news is that when they came out of the chaos, they went right back into flow and began to work in synchronicity with each other again. So I feel like if you're feeling like things are like, how do I control all this? It's all out of whack, then it's okay not to get panicked about that and just know that it's going to come back to balance very soon. So interesting about pelicans is that they're considered plunge diving birds. So they take a deep dive into whatever they're going after. So there may be an element of that for you too, where you need to just dive into something. Maybe it's your dreams, something that you want to manifest. Just dive right into it, and that's what they do. The pelicans just go for it. The other thing about pelican that's interesting is that they use their webbed feet to incubate the eggs. So there's a groundedness that needs to be in place for them to be nurtured and nourished. So if you're feeling maybe a little bit like you're not as nourished as you sometimes would like to be, I feel like you need to really focus on your feet and just be able to be in your body, and especially in your feet. So some kind of grounding, walking meditations, maybe a yoga practice that really has some focus on the feet. That's really important for you right now. So let's pull a card for the pelican people. These are the Lover's Deck cards by Tony Salerno. And I chose these because this week on retreat there was a wedding. We had a wedding in the middle of our retreat, so we're using the Love Deck. So the card that you got, pelican people, wait. It says, don't rush into it. Allow nature to take its course. That's interesting. So maybe you're someone that dives in all the time, and maybe before you dive there's a little bit of a pause that needs to happen. It's a beautiful picture, this one too. It's this, I don't know, it's this blue, if you can see, but it's this very beautiful blue, and it's kind of interesting because they're in formation together in this card. So that's you, pelican. So for those of you that chose iguana, this is an interesting experience that I had with iguana in Costa Rica this year, was the crashing around of the iguana on the tile roof during a yoga class. So it was this banging and thrashing, and it was so heavy. The energy was incredibly heavy. And it could have been that there was a fight going on for territory, or they were just like making a nest or moving things around. But it feels like perhaps you have a little, iguana people, you have a little bit of a battle going on, maybe with someone or within yourself. Maybe there's a little bit of heaviness in a relationship. And so that heaviness, is there a way that you could just lighten that up a little bit? It might mean giving yourself a little bit more laughter medicine, maybe being a little bit more playful with yourself and with others. It may even, because of this heavy-footedness of the iguana, it may even mean that you need to approach the other person if you've been a little bit more, let's say, stubborn in this situation and feel that you're right. Maybe it means taking a second look at the situation and seeing your part in it, and perhaps making the first step toward healing this relationship with this person. Or it may be with yourself. It may be with yourself. So iguanas are interesting. They're cold-blooded, so they need, when it's cold outside, they're cold, or when it's hot, they're hot. So they need external heat to warm them up. And all around Costa Rica, the iguanas are always climbing up the trees and sunning themselves. And so maybe you need some sun too. I mean, that may be what you need to do. And if you're not in a sunny climate, you may just to be able to watch keeping warm, keep yourself warm, no matter what climate you're in. So iguanas have a very independent spirit because they are actually, the mothers, after they lay the eggs, they leave the eggs and they never return. So you, as an iguana person today, if you've chose this, may find that you have a little bit of an independent spirit, a little bit of I don't need anybody else. And the message there is just to remember that we all need each other. Even if we are independent spirits, we need one another. And so that softening and healing in that relationship or situation or internal battle that you may have going on, it's okay to ask for help. It's okay to come to someone in humility, in humbleness, and it's okay to soften a little bit if you've been a little bit heavy-footed around that. So let's see what card you get, Iguana people, from the Lover's deck. Oh, beautiful. This one says, so it's a beautiful picture of a man and a woman, and it says, when it comes to matters of the heart, there is no right or wrong. Every choice you make expands your understanding of life and love. So that's interesting. Maybe in this situation with this person, you've thought to yourself, like, I'm right and they're wrong, so they better come crawling to me. I don't know. If you felt that way about anybody, maybe it's time to just kind of rethink that. So there's that beautiful card. When it comes to matters of the heart, there is no right and wrong. So for snake people, the snake energy came in actually when we were bringing our group up from the beach, and I was walking with my friend Annabelle, who is 6, and we were the only 2 people that saw the snake slithering up the rock ledge, and it was a really amazing experience for her and I to watch that together. And we were at the head of the group when we saw that, and by the time everybody else came along, it had gone. So snake has many different meanings, and if you haven't read my newsletter recently, then check out the last newsletter. You can email me and I'll send it to you if you're wanting to learn more about that snake energy. But I feel like for this, if you've chosen snake, there's something about being a little bit ahead of the group. So perhaps it's that you're already a little bit on the cutting edge, or maybe it's that you need to. This can be something really simple, like getting up at the crack of dawn. It doesn't have to mean that you have to work harder, or do more, or be more. But tap into what your natural abilities are, and you're going to be your transformation, which is snake energy, is going to come from being a little bit ahead of the group. And you also have to do that in a playful way. So I had the child energy with me, my friend Annabelle, as I saw that snake. The other thing about this snake that was interesting, it had a bright, bright green head. So a color of the heart. So if you're wanting to move ahead in your life in terms of matters of the heart, maybe it does mean pushing yourself that little extra bit to be at the head of the group. Snake energy is also about transformation in a kind of a radical way. So when snakes pop into our lives, they can often disrupt everything. It's like shedding the old skin and being reborn. They're really the symbol of rebirth. A lot of people are scared of snakes, but they're really not that bad. There's like 160 something different snake varieties here in Costa Rica, and only 22 of those varieties are actually venomous. But we get scared of snakes because they're not that cuddly and cozy. Snake energy also brings up fears to the surface, but that is for cleansing, so it's not a bad thing. If you've chosen the snake energy, it's probably a very, very good thing. if there's any turmoil or chaos in your life, it's okay. And it's actually going to bring in a new dawn for you. It's going to be a brand new day after the dust settles a little bit around whatever has been happening for you. So not to be afraid, not to be afraid of that. Let's see what card you get. This one is called My Beloved. And it says, though we may be physically apart, spiritually we are always united, for love transcends space and time. Nothing is missing. So there's the card. It's a beautiful card. There's a very peaceful look on the faces. So maybe some of this chaos that you've been feeling, or the turmoil, if you've had any of that, is about being alone, that you felt a little bit alone in the world, maybe apart from someone physically on the earth, or maybe apart from someone who's crossed over. And just to remember not to get, it's okay to feel sad and it's okay to feel lonely, but just let it come in and then let it pass, because it's not permanent. When we get that time of aloneness or all oneness, it really means that it's a special time for us to be able to savor our relationship with self. So not to be afraid of that. If that's bringing up some of the fears, this feeling of being alone, you are not alone. We are never, never alone. Thank you for joining me. My website is mysoultime.com, and I look forward to connecting with you soon. Namaste.